Hey guys, what's going on? I haven't made a video on YouTube in a very long time. More or less, I've been either busy or just haven't had the time or in the mood to make a video. But today, I'm actually going to make a video. I want to make a video on certain games that I didn't cover on my GTX 1060 benchmarks. The reason why I'm doing this is because now I have the ability to run games at 4K and even ultra-wide 4K, just to show you what kind of things that this 1060 can do. So we'll be running Doom on OpenGL at max settings, Metro 2033 Redux max settings, Metro Last Light at max settings, and Witcher 3 at max settings, without hairworks though. This will all be running at 1920 by 1080, 1080p ultra wide, 1440p, 1440p ultra wide, 4K, and 4K ultra wide. The first graph we're going to show, this is Doom OpenGL on max settings. This is TXAA, 8X, everything maxed out. I'll actually show a screenshot of the settings for this, just to show you what kind of settings we're using. So as you can see, 1920 by 1080, we're actually getting some great frame rates on max settings. We're getting an average of 103. We have a maximum of 133 and a minimum of 86. I can definitely see there's no CPU bottleneck in these type of games, but once we move on to different games, you're actually going to see a CPU bottleneck here soon. I was very interested if the GTX 1060 could handle 4K 30 FPS, and in Doom OpenGL max settings, the GTX 1060 could handle 4K 30 FPS. In reality, if you set the settings down a little bit lower, let's say high settings, or turn down the anti-aliasing because that's fucking maxed out, it will definitely work at 4K 50, 60 FPS, and in reality, that's a perfect gaming setup, in my opinion. Alright, moving on to Metro 2033 Redux. This is the graph for it right here. As you can see, the minimums and the maximums are a little bit high. I can agree with that one. We're going to look at the averages here. As you can see, in 1080p, we have an average of 53 FPS at max settings. So that's actually not bad. It's not the greatest, because it's a 1060 on max settings, but if you turn on the high settings, 60 FPS and so forth. I'm going to move on down to 4K, just because you can actually see the graph here and the resolution and such. 4K does not work, not even a little bit. I don't even think, if you put it on low settings, I do not think you could get 60 FPS. We got a minimum of 1.4, a maximum of 7, and an average of 4. I don't think 4K or 4K ultra wide is possible on Metro 2033 Redux with a GTX 1060. Let's move on to Metro Last Light. Metro Last Light, I've noticed a huge problem. There's a CPU bottleneck in this game, and you can definitely see it because the averages actually boost in the 1080p ultra wide section for some odd reason. So you're going from 1080p normal to 1080p ultra wide, so 1920 by 1080 to 2560 by 1080. And the difference is, on 1080p, you get an average of 54, and 1080p ultra wide, you get an average of 68, meaning there's a CPU bottleneck there, telling us that the graphics card has a heavier load put on it because of the graphical want or graphic need. And 4K here was actually somewhat playable. I was kind of surprised. 4K at max settings is possible, but not the greatest. You had a maximum of 30, an average of 25, and a minimum of 1. Ignore the minimum. You don't need that. In all honesty, I think that's playable, but if you turn the settings down to medium or high, I think you could easily get 40 to 50 FPS on 4K. I would definitely think that'd be a perfect gaming experience, and I don't think there'd be anything wrong with that. Let's move on to Witcher 3. This is the last game on our lineup. Witcher 3, you can definitely tell, is a very hard game to run for a GTX 1060. And this is max settings, by the way. Max post-processing, max graphics, without hairworks though. Hairworks is just dumb, there's no need for it, honestly. Alright, so at 1080p you get an average of 55, a minimum of 39, and a maximum of 71. I'm thinking that's actually great. Like, an average of 55 on 1080p is perfect for any person who's playing at 1080p. And, well, currently I play in ultra-wide 1080p, and I get an average of 47, a maximum of 59, and a minimum of 34. That's definitely playable at max settings, but in reality, I'd probably put it down to medium or high settings just to get that perfect 60 to 75 FPS, since I have a 75 Hz monitor. I'm actually going to do a video on, can I tell the difference between 60 and 75 Hz? Click the subscribe button, the little bell by the subscribe button, you'll always get notifications of my new videos, and you'll be able to see that one as well. And the last thing I have to say about Witcher 3 Is Witcher 3 playable at 4K with GTX 1060? Actually, yes. It's not bad. The minimums and the averages are very, very close, meaning that you don't dip down in FPS a lot for some reason. I don't understand why. The minimum on Witcher 3 is 24, average of 26, and a maximum of 23. Oh no, 28. I'm sorry, 28. I was looking at ultra wide 4K. We have a minimum of 24, a maximum of 28, and an average of 26. That's not bad at all. You could easily play that with no issue if you're on like a 30 hertz TV. Let's say you wanted to get a little bit higher FPS. You could just go down to medium high settings. You could play 4K at 40, 50 FPS, and we've tried this. The only limitation with 4K right now with Witcher 3 is the fact that the 1060 only has 6 gigabytes of VRAM. If it had 8 gigabytes of GDDR5X, like the GTX 1080 or 1070, I think the 1070 has GDDR5 normal, but if it had that, it would probably be able to play these games a lot better. So I hope you guys liked that video. Can you please click the subscribe button and the little bell beside that subscribe button so you get a notification for any new video that comes out from me. I'm hoping to make more videos over the summer since I don't have school. It'd be great if I can do that. It'd be awesome because it's fun. Hope to see you guys next time, and comment down in the comment section.